happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers.
That's right.
I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Shabs. How you doing, bro?
I was doing okay until I was traumatized by that tweet. Thank you, China, and your censorship. Again, they're the bad guys.
Let's mention it without being the rude stuff in
Yes,
it.
yeah.
It's China's passed this law where they can't have like blood and graphic in like anime and stuff like that. And obviously, instead of reshooting the whole anime, redoing the whole, drawing everything again.
Which, by the way, a lot of places do just touch up those scenes.
Okay.
That's not unusual.
It probably will be a lot of effort though, but still, anyway, in this instance, what they decided to do is just change everything that's red into white.
Yeah, any blood is now a pool of not blood.
So what's the character's name?
It's Itachi.
He's obviously bleeding from his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's just streams of white liquid.
It's just white. I'm traumatized. I'm utterly traumatized. I can't tell you how much I hate it. It's hilarious, but like in all the worst ways. Before we get started, because I genuinely want to do a test, and I finally remembered to do this.
Okay.
Boys and girls, I am curious. Back in the day, for YouTube stuff,
Yeah.
it used to be like and favorite the video. Do you remember they were giving away Xboxes and stuff? If you could head down, there's a little plus sign. It might say save. Favorite this video for me. I'm genuinely curious to see, and let me know if you did it. I don't care if you don't do it, but if you let me know. So if we get like 20 favorites or something, because I want to know if it helps our analytics, because it might be one of those things that's come back in and YouTube just hasn't mentioned.
Could be a hack. Could be something that we
it's one of those
stumble
little
upon.
things, and unless you test this stuff, like we would banging our heads against the wall with the old channel until we sort of really did some testing, see if it was shadow banned. So I'm just trying to find out if stuff works. So I'd really appreciate it. Like the video as well, it's useful. But yeah, hit that favorite. You can save it anywhere. You should have like a stock favorites playlist somewhere.
Yeah, you can make it's like a private playlist that no one else
it
gets
doesn't.
to see.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
don't
like
have
that.
to publicly announce you watch our stuff. I'd be curious to know.
You don't have to publicly announce that you're fans of Conbrosations.
Right.
You don't want to embarrass yourself.
Right, that would be
come on now.
ridiculous.
Terrible things like that.
But I would really appreciate it, and let me know if you did it, so I can have an idea of, when we look at the analytics for the video. How are you doing, bro?
I am doing fantastic.
I saw you playing Elden Ring.
Oh, I've been playing so much video games that I feel really good. And also we've been doing streams for like watch-alongs and stuff like that. We watched the Modern Warfare reveal yesterday.
We did. I'm hyped for it, and I hate that.
Right? We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second because it is one of the topics.
Yeah.
But I did start Elden Ring. I got the platinum for Returnal as well.
Sick, well done, yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
RNGesus was on your side.
Oh my god, you should. Adriana recorded me. It wasn't as fun, but when I got it, I was like, I got it! And I just dropped to the floor, and I'm like, I don't need to do this run again and again and again.
Yeah.
It's over. But yeah, I started Elden Ring. I am actually liking it a lot.
Okay.
It is what you said, where it's like, you said like you think I would like it, and all my fears will be put to bed of it being like overhyped and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do like it. I'm only early into it, like maybe 5 hours in total or something like that.
Yeah.
But it is very cool at the moment, and it's fun having the chat actually who have all played the game.
Yeah.
And all know about it, and they can be like, Ed, you're being such an idiot. This thing does that. Oh my god, how can you not notice?
So two things from obviously I turned up for like maybe an hour on your streaming of it. Let me just check that I'm muted as well.
My phone is all ringing.
I think that having the chat there probably made it a better experience for you than it was for me, because obviously go in cold, and this is the sort of game where they don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
You have to either know or find out.
Yeah.
They don't educate you. So like the fat rolling, I was fat rolling for like 10 hours and couldn't figure out why I was getting wrecked by everything, and I just put my brain naked, and it was so much better.
Done.
So, and also, they know stuff and where stuff is, and they can explain things to you that the game doesn't. So I think that's obviously been a benefit. What I would like for you to, if you do continue, because I do get the sense the story's incredible, is for you to sort of like baby me through it again and let me know like how to. I don't know, man. I saw how much of the map you had. I had about 5 or 6 times that amount of the map explored.
Really?
I found like 7 maps. I had a lot. I explore a lot, like, and I never access the story, which I think means I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing something wrong.
There's something I figured out sort of immediately. The points of grace, when you start off with it, there's like a beam of light that points in a direction.
Yeah.
Did you follow that direction?
I followed that to Margit.
Oh, yeah, because that's where it goes.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
so, and I thought,
if you can't beat him,
I
which
thought for once
was difficult.
I thought, have you beaten him?
No.
Okay.
He got out his big hammer, and I was like, well, I can't compare with that. I'm not stretched out enough for it.
I never got that far to the Spirit Hammer, I don't think, because I don't think I got him ever below half because I was fat rolling the whole time. Every time I tried to dodge, I was getting wrecked. And I was dodging way too early. Like, but by the time I gave up on the game, I'd figured out you got to wait. Okay, they're going to do it now. No, keep waiting.
Keep waiting.
Wait. Send a letter by carrier pigeon, and when it comes back with a reply, then you can dodge.
Yeah.
But something about I'm just not able to. Also, I only found like 3 NPCs, and I found maybe 5 NPCs, and all of them were merchants except for 2 who gave me quests. And I'm like, I've played 15 hours, I've explored a bunch of this place, found 2 quests, and can't get past Margit to really get into the story. And for once, I actually followed the main line, and then Margit's in the way. But
I think this was. It might be a situation. We was optimistic, and I love it. We was optimistic that maybe this would be the game that you get
also,
into.
I hate roguelike games.
Yeah,
you know, so
you've never been a Souls guy, you've never been a roguelike guy, you've never been anything like that.
Right.
We was hoping this would be the entry.
Yeah.
If it didn't turn out to be, hey, it just didn't turn out to be.
But I'm really enticed by the story. Seems so good.
That's what I'm getting from it as well. Everything they're saying and the way they say it, and I'm like, ooh. All right. I mean, they've said Elden Ring about 7,000 times.
Oh, yeah, and Elden Lord, and I'm like, I don't want this old guy's Elden Ring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
It's like when you watch a movie and they say the title of the movie in the movie.
I hate when they do that.
It's like, that's why I'm called Superman, A Quest for Peace. It's like, hold on a second.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
Wait, that doesn't... What? Superman 4, A Quest for... Anyway, I'm having fun.
Yeah, good.
The streams are good fun, so I'm going to continue those as well. It's not something that I've done something good here. It's not something that I've relegated only to streams.
Right.
I said I'll play the game and like do side bosses and stuff like that on my own time whenever I want. And I'll leave big bosses for when I'm streaming. So that's good. It's not one of those games where like if I stop streaming because life gets busy, I never get back to it. So
right.
That's really
That's
cool,
smart.
Yeah.
That's big smart.
Before I ask you about how your day's going, let's thank some idiots over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. The problem is they're idiots, but I care about them more than I care about you. So,
well, I mean, that's a very low bar, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's like Sheps, syphilis, patrons.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You know?
Our bros over at patreon.com/Conbrosations who support us at the Super Bro tier, who support us there. You guys are legends. You guys help keep the lights and mics on. Those people are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunley, Catspud the Friendly Patron, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy FIFA Fanatic Joe McCormack, Clark the 53rd, My Juicy Left Nut, the super sexy producer Sean, the fakest Bat fan, the Batfish, Mikey T, the gamer giant, and Kevin, the #1 simp.
I was like, where's he go? Oh, no, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conbrosations. So, yeah, how's your day going, bro?
My day?
Well, how are you doing? How are you doing since we last spoke?
When did we last speak? Well, I feel like you're setting something up, and I'm not catching on.
What it really is that I'm only expecting it to be what you do every single time. So I'm right.
Yeah, good. You know, the typical really good co-host give you nothing to respond to.
You know what? It's not even that now. It's become the joke now. Where like you've become the like, I'm a man of few words. Yeah, I'm right.
All
right.
Anyway.
I like it. I mean, maybe I'm just a loser. Well, I am a loser,
You are a loser.
But maybe this is just my thing. But hey,
yeah, doing okay. Done a little bit of gaming. I wish I was doing more. Just like enjoying. I don't know, man. I got back into Apex somewhat recently.
Yeah.
And I just like I don't what happens is I just don't play for like 2 weeks and I jump on for a full night, like an all-nighter, because I don't sleep anyway, so I can literally do 10 till 3 in the morning.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know, it's sort of scratching an itch, and now with COD, which I don't know why I'm excited, because it was like a 30-second trailer, and I freaking hate that they did that.
Yeah, fucking hell, man, that's just something, in it.
And a little bit of me's tempted to just replay Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
believe it or not.
Strange, that weird urge.
Crazy. and also, I'll play it for like the 5th time, but I'm not getting the platinum. I don't care to do that. You know, like I just...
You'd think by the amount you've played that game, the amount of exploration you've done, you would have accidentally stumbled upon it.
But you know what happens is, I'll do it where I'll be like, okay, one thing I'm not going to do, I play it a certain way, right? I go like, I'm going to be more ninja this way, more samurai this time. And that leads me to exploring different things. Like if I am bothering to do stealth, like I find different things like hidden in a roof or something. And if I'm not, then I'm going, straight in. So each time, I might have probably explored the entire game, but never once in one sitting. Do you know what I mean? So I have one version that's like 50% over here, the other 50% over here, you know?
If only the game was smart enough to be like, look, on one save you got this third.
Right.
On this save you got that third. On this save you got that. We're going to fucking add it together, right? You got it. Oh, God.
I have been told, though, that... Because I mentioned, obviously, that Elden Ring didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And mainly because, like... And it's like their first open world, which is the exact wrong recipe for me. Right. And it's to like explore everything. And somebody whose name I forget who it was, but actually a few of you said, check out like what's on the PS Plus collection of Demon Souls or Bloodborne.
I think Bloodborne's on there.
But one of them was like
Bloodborne,
one of them. Somebody was like, whichever that one is, it's way more linear, so you're not gonna like get lost. You'll sort of know where you're going. And I'm like, okay, I might check it out, but it's just not. I'm not hooked.
It's tough now, especially because we've moved into the era of 60 FPS, 4K visuals and stuff like that. We're used to bigger and better things. Not that older stuff is terrible and whatnot, but
it's still viable. Like you played Halo, it was still good.
Yes, that's true. But I played that on PC, so you can get 60 frames and stuff like that. It helps mitigate some of the old feeling. Bloodborne is stuck on 30 FPS. It's stuck in the old times at like barely even over 1080p.
Yeah.
And they are refusing to do a remake or a remaster or anything of that fucking game. It's annoying as hell.
Even Elden Ring, which obviously is 60 FPS, still feels clunky. It's just the game, you know. And I again like. I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna play 4 hours of the game and say it's not a warm and tender story. Like, it's just not for me. Yeah. You know, I'm not doing it.
I appreciate that. That, bro. Bro, should we kick it off with today's stories?
Let's do it.
So today, guys and girls, hit my button here. Oh, there we go. We are going to be talking about the state of play that happened last week. We're going to round up all about that and all the information that's come out about that. We're going to be talking about how Horizon's TV show details might have leaked a little bit.
Okay.
Hideo Kojima's next game might have leaked as well.
Okay.
And the existence of something called Xbox Keystone, which is a streaming console coming soon. We will talk a little bit
I feel like
about
they need to just focus on making some freaking games. We've done everything, Microsoft, except make games. Let's go back to making games. Mixer didn't do too great. You know, like
so many mixed feelings.
Don't try and.
Those.
I don't get it. Anyway,
just so you guys know that today's episode is being recorded on Thursday, the 9th of June, which is the day of the Summer Games Fest happenings, showcase, and stuff like that. So obviously we're not going to be talking about that because it hasn't happened for us yet. But next episode we'll recap it, and I'm hoping to maybe do a recap episode, recap video. In between these two podcasts, so you guys should get your fill if you're over on youtube.com/Conbrosations1. You guys can see that, but that's what's going to be happening in this episode. Okay, so should we start off with the state of play recap?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go through one by one the things that were revealed, and we'll stop where we feel like it, and we can say what we like and whatnot, because we're not experts on all of this stuff here. So first things first, Katie was happy about this one.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 remake was officially announced. It's real, it's happening, and releasing on March 24th, 2023. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan. I've played the later ones.
Yeah.
But I know how much people talk about it, and Katie, how she's been having her heart broken every single state of play, every single showcase, and it finally happened.
The games are getting... I haven't played the recent ones.
Yes.
Like the one with Milfy Madame Demistru, whatever it is.
Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, so I haven't played that. I did play the OG games way back in the day.
Yeah.
I forget which. I think it was RE2. I just have traumatic memories of trying to run down this hallway, and you can only see like you running towards the camera, and then there's... it was awful.
That seems so weird to me. Obviously, it was of its time, but it's like you're running, and then the camera switches almost CCTV, like you're like in another corner, and you're like...
That is exactly what it was like. It was like CCTV, but there are things like... I remember... That's my worst memory of that game, which I don't like scary stuff anyway. Weirdly, though, like one of my favorite games is Dead Space.
Yeah.
But, you know, like if it's good enough. But that got to... That's actually where I stopped playing the game, because it got so frustrating. And there's a left turn that you can't see. You just have to know it's there.
It's just obscured, but it looks like a straight wall.
At least that's how I remember it. It's probably more obvious now, but... Cool. Anyway, that's the last time I played. So I haven't played the new stuff, but it feels like they got well away from like what made the OG games good. Sort of like the movies. You know how that first movie was kind of Resident Evil.
So this is the thing.
And then now it's just not.
I had an old friend who loved Resident Evil. And I said the dumbest thing, just because I was purely uneducated on this thing. And I was like, I know kind of the movies, and I know kind of the video games, the more recent ones. So they're not really about zombies, right? Because then there's like vampires in this one, and then there's in the movies there's a T-virus, but then they get away from the virus. I'm like, what? So what is this thing? And he's like, no, it's about zombies. And I'm like, is it? Yeah. Is it? And then
the OG games, yeah. That's what it. That's the thing. Is like the OG ones, absolutely. It is like a man-made. Well, think zombies, less The Walking Dead, more like what you saw in the movie meets like The Last of Us, where there are like sort of boss zombie type things. But yeah, it's that's the original one.
Well, at least I spoke so dumbly of it, and I felt so embarrassed because I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Anyway. I've not played the original ones. I'm happy for Kate. I'm happy for everyone else out there who's excited for this. You guys are going to get that. Yeah. They did announce a VR mode coming to Resident Evil Village.
No, thank you. Unless it's an X-rated...
I was going to say, how long do you think it's going to take from when it releases?
I think the devs are just going to make it.
to how long it takes for the YouTube video to come out of someone going...
I modded Resident Evil Village so that none of them are wearing clothes. You know?
So yeah, thank you, Capcom. Thank you very much for the PSVR port of that.
Yeah.
We thank you, and
we do.
When I regain my fluids, I will
hacking an auto blow 2 to simulate what I think Madame Demistru Sue, whatever her name is like.
Oh boy, that's bad. That's bad right there. Down. Yeah. So that was something from Resident Evil that we got there. Next up, we got the announcement of Street Fighter 6, which will be releasing in 2023 for PS4 and PS5. It's multi-platform this time. The last one was exclusive to PlayStation, but it's a fighting game, and it largely killed the Street Fighter because it was locked to one console.
Yeah.
We're like, this is a community thing. We don't care about consoles. It's
exactly.
It's like FIFA ever becoming...
right.
It's dumb. Anyway, that happened. I'm not a fighting game fan.
Don't care either.
You guys can enjoy it. No problem.
I'm sure there's skill to it, but I feel like the best guy in the world is still going to get defeated by a 6-year-old button bashing.
Yeah, do you know what it is? The only thing that I find hype about Street Fighter is those clips that you see online of those big tournaments where all it takes is one person to make a mistake, where they do like a punch and it falls short, and then the other guy capitalizes on it immediately and it goes into a combo, and then he uses his ultra power and it's like KO, and you're like,
the best thing about that is the announcer.
Yeah.
KO.
And then the whole crowd like flip up their controllers, or someone calls it too early. They're like, I've won it. And then it's like, no, he's got you in a combo.
He's got
now,
like
boys.
a one sliver of health. That's got a pixel of health. That's all he needs.
All he takes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the good stuff. We also got Horizon Call of the Mountain. We got to see the first actual gameplay of that.
Yep.
Looked actually pretty cool. I've obviously had the PlayStation VR 1 headset, and I've played games on that. The best games are the ones that are more simplistic, like, do you know Super Hot? Which is like a white room, and every time you move, time moves with you. And you're like shooting those red figures. Very simplistic, hardly any detail, and those kind of games thrive because you can't get as much detail on a VR headset because it's rendering 2 images at the same time, so half the processing power.
Yeah.
This looks gorgeous for VR. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm interested in that. And I'm super interested in being head-to-head with a Thunderjaw in VR. In Aloy's, I'm just like, yo, okay.
You're gonna wet yourself.
It's, you know. Anyway, that's gonna be quite cool. I think.
I expect to see a picture in like like maybe a week after it comes out of just that shelf with all the PlayStations broken, everything strewn on the floor because you like fell backwards and
What's really interesting about this is that it's a first-party PlayStation game, PlayStation exclusive game. Of a first-party, very healthy IP.
Yeah.
Which shows, like, some actual confidence that, like, PlayStation are putting that name in there. And to be frank, that's what you need to do for your own thing to survive, right? You need to put your own first-party stuff into it in order to make your own hardware
Yeah, you've got to take risks. And the fact is that the Horizon VR is not going to do anywhere near as good as the game.
It's true.
Which is just simply because of the number of units out there, the currently relatively low VR like adoption. Yeah,
it's a niche product anyway, because on top of you having to pay essentially for another console, you also need to have the space for it. You also need to. It's one of those things as well that you don't know. You remember when you tried VR for the first time?
Yeah.
When you actually tried it, you're like, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But until you have that moment, what are you going to do? Spend $400 on that?
Exactly. So it's like a niche project on a niche product. That if someone looks at this and says, well, you know, this did, like, the game sold this many, the DLC sold this many, and this version of it sold, you know, it really flopped. And you're like, no, it didn't. But so in that sense, it's a risk.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you have companies and dev houses and a platform that's willing to, I don't know, let's say, make games.
They can take these stabs into it, right?
Right, you got to try stuff.
I do appreciate that they've gone with Horizon.
It's a gorgeous game, isn't it?
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those ones that VR is very fascinating when you're in it. If you haven't played VR, if you haven't had a chance to try a headset, it's very fascinating because the 3D aspect of it, where it looks like you're in a new world, where you can actually... It's not just it's not just a screen in front of you. It's not a 2D flat image, it's 3D.
Yeah.
So when something is in the distance, you can tell how far away it is, like you can do in real life. And having that feeling and being in an entirely different world, and I have to imagine being in a robot dinosaur world,
right.
That's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate they went with a first-party game. I really appreciate that it's Horizon they're doing. And I can't wait to see how it's going to be on those new controllers as well. And
the new controllers.
And stuff.
That's the thing I'm most interested in. Because that's what VR needed. Because it's just clunky. It's like you got the visuals, sort of, which that will improve over time. But then your way of interacting with the game is just a yes, no, grip or let go. You know, and it's just...
Also,
like for The Last of Us, this was always my pitch. So I want to be playing The Last of Us VR, open a drawer, and I don't want to see like a lump of ammunition and a box, and you pick it up and it says 1 ammo, right? I want it to be there's 3 bullets in there, and I have to open it up and pick up each bullet and put it into my revolver, right? Or load it into my rifle. That's how I want to play the game. That would be sick.
That would be great, right? And I know you can do that on the Valve Index, and they did that with the bullets and stuff like that. What was I going to say? Oh, the controller thing is going to be the most interesting, and for people who've had PSVR 1, going to PSVR 2 is going to be the most staggering difference, because those light orb things and whatnot, while they worked, my God, were they basic as fuck.
Oh, rough.
They were from the PS3 era, these things.
Yeah, it felt like using a Wii controller.
Right.
The OG Wii.
Yeah. And
like,
these
it's
new
one of
things
those
are
things
probably
where
going to be night
like
and
you could
day.
hold your hands surgeon still, and the pointer would be doing this and drifting.
So bad. And then anytime you did anything like it was outside of the camera's range and whatnot, just gone. You
Yeah,
can't
it
do
doesn't
anything about
exist
that.
anymore.
Anyway, this should be this. I'm really excited for this new headset, and we didn't get any information about the headset though. no release date, no window, no nothing.
Yeah.
We got some games that, like Horizon called them out. It's going to be a launch game. Didn't even have a 2022 or a 2023.
Yeah,
On it. It's
just going to be a launch game. Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway,
Thanks for that cryptic answer.
That's useful.
I'll
save my money for launch.
the future.
They did put out an update for Horizon Forbidden West. They added New Game Plus. They added some extra difficulty options and some extra little.
Didn't need more difficulty options.
Personally, I didn't think so.
I feel like there was 4, right?
Yeah,
that was enough.
Do you know what's really weird? So they did the performance thing that Insomniacs doing, where they added the VRR support, and they added, I think it was 40 frames per second, which with VRR pushes it up to like 100 frames a second, whatever it is, and better quality modes with like whatever lighting and stuff like that. And I was like, that's great. And then they added New Game Plus, and they called it Major Update, and I was like,
it's New Game Plus. You start a new game, but you have what you had when you ended the previous game. It's not really major.
Say other games have done it, but your game has done it before. No, Zero Dawn did it before.
I'll tell you the big update that I wish they would have done, which was that if you had a Zero Dawn save, I want Old Game Plus. I want my I mean, I didn't like Zero Dawn, but that does it for me. I want my Aloy from Zero Dawn, where I went and, even though I hated Aloy, like I went and found that secret armor, I found everything, didn't platinum it, of course. But I want that Aloy to start this game, right? It would make sense, because it's like 3 months after, that she hasn't had much of an update because she hasn't had you, a man, piloting her. But like, it would make sense that she'd be in a similar spot, right? So I want that version of Aloy to start the game.
She didn't have a man making her decisions for her, which is just the way it's supposed to be.
It's so stupid. I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
They also showed off again No Man's Sky VR, which is odd because I mean they had it on PSVR.
I feel like this isn't new.
Yeah, it isn't. I don't know. They didn't say like, oh, we've boosted this and also it supports the new controllers.
It was just sort of like, here's No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it was the same thing. And I was like, it's on PSVR. Is this just a port to PSVR 2?
Right.
Or is it running backwards compatibility? Because maybe it can do that. I thought maybe they'd be like, we've also introduced more things with the triggers and stuff
like that. Do you know what
I'd
like to see? I'd like to see in the future, when we're on like the PSVR 5, that PSVR 3 games are impossible to port.
Impossible, right.
Just because they're going to... just to follow the same life cycle as the consoles.
Oh, God.
What else did we see? I've totally forgotten.
Well, we've got... which one shall I go with next? Let's go... Oh, they showed... Okay, let me do this one before I get onto the big ones. We got Tunic, which is coming to PS4 and PS5. It was already released on PC and Xbox.
Love bit of Turmeric.
Turmeric. Rollerdrome, which was a... It looked actually quite decent. At the time, I didn't pay too much attention, but afterwards I watched the trailers again. It's like you're on roller skates and you kill people inside like a skate rink.
Yeah.
And every time you kill people, you get more ammo. And every time you do like tricks and stuff like that, you can do bullet time.
It's sort of like SSX Tricky meets Skate Rink meets Death Race.
Yes, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, that again, I think is going to be a niche game, but I could see it being niche, but everyone that plays it loves it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like, just not enough people play it.
It's cute, and do you know what was really awesome as well? The one of the developers who worked on the game, it's a small game, it's an indie game.
Yeah.
One of the developers posted a video on Twitter, and she was so freaking excited that her game was featured on State
I
of
want to
Play.
see this video.
It's if I can find it, I'll give it to you. But fuck me,
I like when people care about their products.
Wholesome, man. It was great. Roller Drome. Let's do. Here we go. Her name is Anicia Sanusi.
I'll never spell that,
and I will send you the link right now. I will Discord it to you.
Safe. I'll watch that in my own time.
All you need to do really is see just what she's doing. She's just got her phone and she's like watching the State of Play and she's like, hey,
that's my game.
It's my game. It's over here. She's just, the smile on her face is just great. It's so wholesome and I love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right?
That's cute. That's the thing is like she made a cool thing, and she's just insanely happy that it's been featured.
And if you see as well on her phone, she's on like a Zoom call with everyone else on the team, and you can tell they're all just excited. It's really awesome. I like that kind of thing. So
I agree.
Yeah, check this out anyway. It might be a game for you. It might not be. You never know. And some great people might get some support.
Yeah, that's cool. Like Stuffed.
Yes.
Which we need to play. We should do that for community night or for a stream. I think as a stream that'd be good.
That was really fun.
That was fun.
Playing as toys. And,
it's just,
and then the guy was so cool as well.
Yeah, so that's one of the great things about indie projects is that generally the people that make them are just passionate.
Yeah.
And you can talk to them.
Yeah.
It's not some giant corporation. It's not like Infinity Ward or EA or something. Like you can actually speak to somebody and be like, "Oh, did you think about this?" And they go, we asked him like, "Oh, what about this?" It's like, we actually thought about that, but for right now we got to do this. But stuff like that. It's cool to see someone that made a project, and because you're a fan of this sort of stuff, you have an idea, and he's like, "Yeah, we had that idea too," meaning we're also fans. Do you know what I mean? Oh my days. Anyway, indie projects are cool, but didn't you know Sony is anti-consumer because it's not easy for indie projects?
Anti-indie, that's what they are.
That's right.
I don't know what
they hate Indiana Jones.
Anti-indie. I don't know what Shuhei Yoshida's doing as the head of indie projects. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's probably too busy playing Fall Guys. The next game, and this was actually my favorite game they showed off at the State of Play. We actually got to see proper gameplay mixed in with some cinematics of Callisto Protocol.
Nightmare fuel.
My God, this game looks awesome.
It looks
on top of it looking beautiful, as in like really
gorgeous,
well done.
Yeah.
The lighting is great. The shadows in the right spots to make it look eerie and
terrifying.
Spooky. Exactly. On top of that, it looks like it's a quality game. Like the textures.
It's going to be a AAA.
Right. It looks proper AAA quality, and I think this is their first game since making the studio.
It is.
I'm like.
At least I think it is.
Crazy. I did put this in my wrap-up video that I put on, but I'll talk about it here as well anyway. It's a game set on the second moon of Jupiter, second largest moon of Jupiter, Callisto it's called. There's a prison there called Black Iron Prison, and you play as one of the guys called Jason Lee, who is an inmate at the prison. And there's an outbreak of some sort of virus or something, alien contagion, whatever it is. It could be. And it throws the whole moon into like chaos.
Yeah.
And
it's Dead Space.
That's the thing. If you look at it, if everything that you see about it is Dead Space.
Yeah.
And what's better about it is that it's releasing exactly 1 month before the supposed Dead Space remake comes out.
That's hilarious. I can't wait to watch them murder it.
Amazing, right? It's going to be so funny. People will buy the Dead Space remake because it'll be a hit of nostalgia. But if this does really well, then it just shows that these guys were really the creative force, and EA
of course
can't do anything. They're not going to be able to make a sequel to Dead Space. Because they just don't have the chops.
Well, we know that sequels to Dead Space have a 50-50 chance.
Well, I mean, they never tried.
That's true.
They did two.
They did two, and then
that was it.
Yeah, and then they made Project Callisto.
Exactly.
It does sort of look, at least, like this is another Halo situation with Bungie meeting 343. Project Callisto looks incredible.
Callisto Protocol.
What did I say?
Project Callisto.
My bad.
There's P's and C's in there, don't worry about it.
You know what I mean? Callisto, it looks sick. I'm going to play it, and I hate myself.
It looks a lot scarier than the Dead Spaces that we've had before.
Dead Space was not... it wasn't insignificantly scary, right? Like, there were scary things. There was the thing that always gets me is that playroom.
Oh.
Do you remember the thing? You come into a thing, and there's like a kid's playroom with like bloodstains, and then stuff moves while you're not looking, but you never... Nightmare fuel. I really dislike horror. It just doesn't do it for me. This looks like someone said, "Oh, you know what we want to do? You remember how we did Dead Space, but if we could make it not a B movie this time, like it wasn't a B movie before. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, we want to make it really scary. What do you mean really scary?
You're like, what?
I feel like somebody came in to a meeting and said, "Guys, I know we've had all these plans, but before we get started, I just found this thing called PT. I think we should all play it before we start
This is the vibe I'm
to
going
get in the
for.
right frame of mind.
So how many of you guys shat yourselves and then had to change your underwear? All of you, that's what we're going for here, okay?
It looks sick. I mean, obviously it looks very Dead Space. It looks sick.
I'm so interested
hate
in this game. It's releasing December 2nd, 2022, apparently, if you guys are interested, so it's not too far away this year. I'm so interested in this. I'm looking to see if I can get the collector's edition. I can't find where it's being sold at the moment. It's so strange. It's like not for sale on their own website, and it says it's just grayed out, and I can't find it any retailer.
I regret not getting the Doom Eternal collector's edition.
That was a bad move, right?
I can't remember why I wasn't sure about it.
Hindsight is 2020. The problem is that it was under the whole. Granted, it was id Software, but it was under the whole Bethesda.
That's it.
Banner. So we're like, Bethesda aren't making good games at the moment. Yeah. So, but look, hey, as I said, hindsight is 2020. You can always kick yourself afterwards, but in the time you don't know. You don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Callisto Protocol, awesome game. I think it's my favorite game that was shown off there.
I think it was the best one shown off. Yeah.
Another game that I surprisingly liked here, Final Fantasy 16 was revealed and given a release window of summer 2023.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you cared about that.
I posted it, I made this meme just for me because I'm sure no one else feels this way, but I was like, Final Fantasy 1 to 15, I sleep. And then Final Fantasy 16, like that. I don't know what it was. Maybe it had the most amazing soundtrack for a trailer ever. And for
Final Fantasy has incredible music.
It seems to be.
Did you play 7?
I played the demo, and I liked that so much that I put Final Fantasy 7 Remake on my to-do list, which is just too long right now. And something about seeing all of those characters and how outrageous they all are, and they're like titans. In fact, one of them is Titan. But they're like creatures and monsters fighting like gods in the sky, and I was like, this is great.
It's pretty epic scale, yeah.
Pretty epic, and I didn't understand that there was like a monarchy as well in it, as well as like a guy like a king, and then subjects, and then in the side there's a literal phoenix, and I'm like, what is going on here? I need to be in this world, and I don't know why.
I'm really hoping that the Final Fantasy 9 remake happens because that would be that's my favorite one. I think it's the best one, unironically, and it would be cool to see that.
It's in the Nvidia leak, and we know that
everything else is coming out.
We have to say it's correct now because everything else has been true on there, including. Actually, wait, was the next thing? No, the next thing wasn't on there. I don't think.
What's the next thing?
The next thing, the big thing here. Actually, I'm going to save that to the end because that's a big thing we're going to talk about. So the next thing that was shown off was Stray. We got to see a little gameplay trailer of that. Looks adorable.
It does look adorable. I feel like that would be a good last 30 minutes to like a Conbros Day stream.
Yes. It's so...
Let's just chill and like hang out as a cat.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good. You're just running around, just being a cat, solving some light puzzles and stuff.
Right, light puzzles. Let's do some like marketplace parkour.
Yeah. And also one of the devs went on Twitter and posted a picture of him, a video of him doing the making biscuits thing that cats do.
Yeah.
I'm not a big cat person, but that is single-handedly the coolest thing, the cutest thing a cat can do. And I'm like, I'm for it.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm going to do right then.
Making biscuits.
Interesting thing about that.
Yeah.
It's a cheap game. It's not like a big game. It's like $30 or something like that when it comes out.
Yeah.
It will be releasing day one on July 19th.
Yeah.
On PlayStation Plus Extra.
Oh, really?
So it will be a day one third party game on PlayStation Plus
Day
Extra.
of release.
That's an interesting thing.
Game Pass is dead confirmed.
I'm interested to find out like why they. I'm sure they won't tell us because I'm sure it's one of them things that's just NDA to shit and they can't talk about how much money they made or stuff like that. But I'll be interested to know behind the scenes, like, what made you go for this deal? What's up with that? I mean, you had a publisher. Money, obviously. Yeah. It's much nice to get that guaranteed check right there.
Right.
But anyway, this is the option. PlayStation may have gone out and just said, we want something to make our service pop in the first couple of months. We think yours has the potential. Let's do that. But I already have we both actually already have the service now because I have PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Means I'll get it. I do kind of want the physical box though. The box
that's the thing. this is the thing, is like
I might buy it just for the sake of
I
it.
get digital services. Like I get that like Netflix is appealing to a lot of people. I'm not waiting for Top Gun to come to Netflix. I'm gonna go and buy a still case.
Yes.
You know, I thought Maverick was incredible. Like really incredible. I'm gonna go and get. I might find if there's anybody on Etsy with like a to make, I don't know, like a custom stand for it, so I can have those 2 still cases, the OG and Maverick.
That would be cool.
And then like something, I don't know, like F16E for it, or you're right. So because we're idiots, we like physical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the set. Right, like we like to have physical stuff. This isn't even that much. There is a box somewhere that is full to the gills of PlayStation cases.
Yeah, I haven't found the space for them yet. Just
You know,
don't
like,
have the space.
we both like to have physical stuff, and yeah, it's convenient having digital download games, but I like having the case.
I was gonna say we've bought a lot more digital now because of our game sharing that we
Yeah,
do,
that makes it convenient.
but it hasn't deterred me away from buying physical stuff because we're just into it. That's
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
Yeah, so that was shown off. A couple of other games that personally didn't speak to me. Etonites, I think that's what you call it. Etonites. Oh, it's not a third. It's an ETER Nights.
I don't remember it.
It's a weeb game, so no one's interested.
How do I not know this then?
It says it combines dungeon crawling with dating. It's like a dating simulator weeb game. And I was like, this is right up Shep's alley. This is a Shep's Let's Play if I've ever seen one.
This is weird. You know, it starts. I just Googled it and clicked the first video that's on PlayStation. Sorry, not some PlayStation. That came up on Google. Don't know why I said PlayStation then.
Starts with the PlayStation channel?
Starts with a dude getting his arm cut off. I don't know, man. This
Interesting. That's a... And now he has to go through the dating scene with one arm.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a dating sim. This seems like a... But this is from State of Play. I don't know what's going on, man. But I'm in it. I'm into it.
Isn't that all anime? I don't know what's going on, but I'm into it.
Oh, we got the Akira bike. Hells yeah, I'm into it.
Another game called Season, A Letter to the Future. This was a very interesting one. I didn't speak to me so much, but it was kind of interesting. It was this woman who seems to not speak, going from place to place, helping people in like a village, in like a town. Again, it didn't speak to me so much. It had an interesting art style, but I was like, I'm okay. I mean, everyone who did like it, that's fine with them. That's good right there.
Games don't all have to be blockbusters, right? Same like movies. Movies don't all have to be Endgame and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There is totally space for like artsy stuff. One of my favorite movies, I'll make a recommendation. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on the channel. A movie called The Fall. No. And it stars Lee Pace, who is incredible. He was Ronin in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
dude's he's actually a fantastic actor. The movie is basically an acid trip.
Okay.
Basically, it's really good. It's really good. The basic premise is he ends up in hospital, and there's a little girl there who's also in hospital, obviously, and they sort of like kind of become friends. And I can't remember how, but either he's telling her stories to pass time because it's like 1912 or something, right? Like there's no TV, right. There's barely radio, so I think he's telling her stories.
Pull out our phones and go on Facebook,
right? And then it sort of like follows the imagination adventure of the story, and then they get broken up to go and have their treatments and come back. And I think there's like a point where he's moody, or got really bad news, and so the story gets dark because he's sad or something. Right. It's also it's gorgeous. It's very artsy. Highly recommend it, but it's not a Marvel thing. Like you won't like it if all you like is blockbusters, you won't like it. But it's an incredible film. As
with all of the stuff that I mentioned, if something tickles your fancy, or if you just want to check it out to see if it is for you, head over to YouTube, check out the trailers. It's worth 2 minutes of your time to do that. It might be something that you might find your next favorite game. You never know. And that was all of the games that were shown. There was one more announcement which kind of took Twitter by storm.
Yeah.
Insomniacs Marvel Spider-Man is coming to PC.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. Didn't get any rumors of this one. It just popped out of nowhere. I don't think it was on the Nvidia leaks as well. But Spider-Man is coming to PC. How do you feel about that, good sir?
Well, a little bit of me always likes stuff going to PC because of the modders.
Yeah.
I know for a fact 90% of people aren't paying for it, and that bugs me, right? That really annoys me. And I'm not for just making stuff expensive. I get it, right? Like we game share. I'm not saying pay nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying pay for stuff you like.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm not going to pay for shitty movies. You know, I might, if it's good, I'll go and see it. But, like, you're not, I'm probably not going to go and see Aquaman because of, you know, that one bed shitter.
Yeah.
So, it really frustrates me because they always, bring it to PC. Why? So you can steal it? Like, nah. But then some of the mods are going to be incredible. Like, I'm waiting for a full Venom mod.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where, like, you can be Pete, but and I don't mean black suit, I mean Venom, you know, stuff like that. So what I'm hoping is that PlayStation, Sony are going to realize that they don't make that much money coming to PC, that they're better off keeping the exclusivity.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's unfortunately. I said that wrong there. They have shown that they are making money off of the stuff there, and this is off of old games. Can I tell you how I feel about this?
No,
because I'm actually on the complete opposite side of this, and I'm actually really happy about this.
Okay,
I think this is actually really good. So, the model they've got right now is like bring games after a certain amount of time coming thing. It's fine. It doesn't affect the value of PlayStation. It doesn't affect the value of PlayStation 5s. It's still
let them wait 10 years. And then they can have Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's still the first place you're going to get something. And it gives people on PC a chance to play these amazing games that obviously a PlayStation are producing left, right, and centre.
Right.
I think it's good for them. And there is the added benefit that we are going to get these hilarious mods. You're going to see these things that are... that you never thought you'd ever see. Or even just little things that you thought, I didn't think about that. That's cool. Like playing the whole game as Andrew Garfield or something like that.
Right. I was going to say playing the whole game as Aunt May.
They're gonna, and what they'll do, they'll finally correct it. They'll get rid of the Aunt May that's in there.
Oh, we're talking.
And bring Rosemary Harris back, guys. The one that everybody loves, okay?
Yeah.
Or Marissa Tomei, one of those ones.
Either.
But you know the first mod is going to be Black Cat, to be honest.
I was going to say, it's going to be Black Cat or Spider-Gwen or something like that.
Big old bubble butt. That's what's going to happen on there. No, I'm actually really excited for this. This is a game that came out in 2018, so it doesn't take anything away from PlayStation.
I agree.
Coming out 4 years later. They didn't announce this at the State of Play, but they announced it afterwards, that in the fall, they're going to release... So this comes out in August, this one.
Yeah.
And in the fall, they're going to release... Miles Morales as well. That's going to come to PC, which is another awesome game. I think this is really good. However, this does pretty much confirm for me that every PlayStation game is going to come to PC regardless.
Yeah, generally true.
Going to come to PC. There's no stopping it now. Anyone out there who's really sad about it, about PlayStation games coming to PC, you're going to have to deal with it. This is it now.
Yeah.
There is no... Spider-Man, if God of War can come and Spider-Man can come, any game is up for grabs right now.
I'll tell you...
Good news for PC gamers, you get to play great games instead of Counter-Strike.
Right. You'll actually get some good storytelling. But this is the thing that bugs me. Two things. Yeah. And it's them, not us.
Yeah.
I don't mind the games going to PC. I mind that it all comes to PC eventually. Right, but you had to wait 5 years to play God of War, you frickin' idiot.
I think this is what happened. So PlayStation must have... They recently posted some details about PC sales and stuff like that. And they showed it went particularly well. Some of these games are really old, like 4 years old, 5 years old, and still... And by that time, they should have converted the people that they said, maybe these people will buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they should have converted those by now. It just shows that PC gamers are so stubborn in their ways that they won't buy a console that... There's no point in holding out anymore. You may as well put them on there so you can at least make some money from them by selling it to them. It's just the way it is.
I think they've been smart about the timing of it, which is that God of War comes out and within roughly a year of that is Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. So that maybe those people that all said, it comes to us eventually, go, man, God of War really was incredible. and I had to wait like 4 or 5 years for that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to wait 4 or 5 years to play Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So at least they're giving it the best shot of, one, making money, but two, like maybe converting people to actually buy it. And the second thing that bugs me is, talking of that, in these games, because this is the thing, PC gamers don't ever get story. All they do is play Counter-Strike. Imagine those moments where you get story through the gameplay, and there's this incredible moment, whether it's tender or like a moment of revelation. You and me were sitting there like, oh my god, amazing, like dodge this thing, learn this thing, they say the dialogue, then click, clack, 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 click, clack, 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 click, 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 click. You'd have freaking ruined it. Get a DS5.
Do you know what? That's actually one of my worst fears about this, is that while I am extremely happy for you guys to be getting Spider-Man, and while I'm extremely happy that more and more people are going to get to play Spider-Man, means more money into the ecosystem, which means Sony gets to spend more money on new IPs and stuff like that, I absolutely hate the idea that someone out there is going to play Spider-Man on a mouse and keyboard.
It's
Could
awful,
you
isn't it?
imagine the vomit-inducing experience
Awful.
of playing Spider-Man, swinging through the air, and then doing that Twitch mouse thing where you're like this one? No, I'm sorry.
Well, like just
That's a sin. That's a cardinal sin.
like the idea of like you need to do something. And you what are you doing? That so there's like. The thing that makes mouse and keyboard like superior for gaming, because it's mechanically superior, sure, is also the thing that takes all the soul and connection to a game, which is what makes it incredible for playing something like Apex. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And what makes it soul destroying, if you're going to play something like The Last of Us or God of War, you're doing it wrong. Get a DualSense. Yeah. Just get a DualSense.
Anyway,
I don't want to have to play 50 quid to play. You're spending $500 a month upgrading stupid parts.
I do love that part. It's like, yeah, well, we don't pay $70 for games, and we don't have to buy this and we don't have to buy that. It's like we don't have to pay $500 for a console. It's like, okay, but when you spend $2,000 for a graphics card, it kind of takes a little bit out of your argument.
And then you realise that maybe the power supply can't quite keep up, so you're going to upgrade to the next gen, but you might as well go one size up. So now you're spending $700 on power supply. On a power supply. Come on.
Anyway, I'm excited about
I don't know why you're laughing. I picked that example because of you.
I did that as well. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to get this new thing. Might as well. Might as well stick in there. Anyway, so that was the final announcement. I do genuinely think it's a cool move.
Yeah.
I've accepted now that PlayStation games are coming to PC. I'll tell you one step further. And this goes into this is another one of the topics, and I'll bring this up now, actually. So a leaker who goes by the name of The Snitch, which is a fucking great name. He posted,
I hate that.
The day before the State of Play came out, he posted the entire accurate, 100% accurate list of what was going to be shown at the State of Play, giving him a bit more like credence to like him knowing his stuff. He then the other day, yesterday in fact, posted. He just said Part 1. 2nd of September 2022. People seem to think this is Last of Us Part 1, the remake, and that's when it's coming. Sounds about right to me. Sounds about right.
I can believe the timeline.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys, you PC gamers who are very happy, this is the reason why Last of Us was getting remade. Not because it was just to be available on PS5 or something like that, because we said why. Why are they doing this? The real reason why they were remaking The Last of Us was simply to put it on PC. And they couldn't put the 2013 graphics on PC. So they remade it. They're going to repackage it and sell it to us PS5 players if we want to have it.
Of course we're buying it.
Of course we're buying it. And they're going to put it on PC so they can get you guys to buy it. And then The Last of Us Part 2 will come out in a year's time or whatever it'll be. And then factions and things like that.
See, I thought they were going to do the remake to try and boost excitement for the show. Because the show's telling the story of Part 1 or some version of that.
I think it's all going together.
And that game is almost 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So if it comes out new, and new enough that it isn't just a graphical update, that all the oldies that played it back in the day, you know, we look at it and go, that's an incredible game from when we were younger. But then there's going to be people that never played it because it was an old game, or didn't play 2 because they weren't in the franchise, and now they're going to go. Do you know what I mean? So I think
that's part of it as well. I think that's definitely a part of it. I think they've concocted a perfect storm
scheme.
right here. Exactly. They're like, so we're making the show. We've got the game. We could remake the game. We want to put all our games on PC anyway. We can make this remake for PC, for PS5.
If this
we can advertise the PS5. Yeah.
Yeah. I think George Clooney's leading this one. Yeah.
It seems like a perfect thing.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that are like, watch Last of Us remake come for PC day one, and as if like that's a big burn. It's like, okay, it's a 10-year-old game. This is, I think, the primary reason was to put this on PC, and they just simply couldn't get away with selling a 13-year-old graphics on PC.
Yeah, I totally. Well, which is weird though, because they all play CS, which is a game I was playing when I was like barely double digits age, and Minecraft. But they'll complain about graphics. Like, it's got to either be something from the 90s or like Crysis 5 and burning out graphics cards, slagging computers. Like, it has to be one or the other. I don't understand them.
I don't understand it either. Anyway, so that might be coming. I'm fully in the ballpark on the boat.
How many balls do you?
A couple. I'm only a couple.
Yeah.
How many balls do you have? I'm fully on the side that Last of Us Part 2 is coming out this year. I think it's going to come out for PS5. It's going to be PC day as well. The remake, yeah. Last of Us remake. Day one on PC, PS5. It'll probably
day one PC.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a remake, I think they can get away with it. I think they'll be okay.
I was going to say, I could believe you there.
Yeah.
But like Ragnarok as an example, because I would unironically put these games in a similar category, not for sales, but for like their place in Sony's soul.
Yeah.
Ragnarok, obviously not day one, but I could, a remake for sure,
Yeah. I think it's an old game and people are going to be okay with that. There's still going to be the toxic Twitter
idiots
experts out there, like Aaron Greenberg and Phil Spencer. No, he's not gonna be. But Aaron Greenberg and all the other like Colt Eastwood and shit like that,
Yeah.
Paris Lily and stuff. They're going to be.
You love Paris.
He's just fantastic. The guy. He's
one of your favorite humans.
Favorite person in the world. They're going to be out there and they're going to be like, day one on PC. People said PlayStation wouldn't do it, and it's like it's a 10-year-old game. It's not a day one. Anyway, and
importantly, not on Xbox though.
That's one.
That's the thing you're not getting.
But that. I tell you something.
I would love it to come to the Wii. Come to Wii U, all of it, and just not Ouya.
We'll even bring it to the Ouya. The Samsung fridge will bring it to not yet. I will say though, one day I can see it being day and date for PlayStation releases. Now, how far away that is, I think it's pretty far away. But and because it's so far away, I can't accurately say like.
I guess it will depend, and I don't think we'll see that obviously this system, but post PS6 maybe. But I think the telling thing, I think this generation is sort of a pause generation, just because of all that pandemic stuff has messed things up so badly and we haven't actually recovered, and we came out with the pandemic, but supply chain issues, this Ukraine thing, like it's just been a bunch of these 2020s are going to rock the world. I wish we could just calm down. I feel like early century is just last one.
Yeah.
2 world wars. Like, can we just not
chill the fuck out, please?
Chill
the fuck out.
Like, so
I feel sorry for kids in the future when they do history lessons on these couple of years.
It'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to be like 70 and having like your grandkids come in and say like, oh, we learned about this, you were alive then, and be like, yeah, it was nothing like that. Sometimes the cunts are just red.
Oh boy. And yeah, that's everything from the State of Play. Overall, I think it was a good event.
It was pretty decent.
I was quite satisfied with it. It wasn't anywhere near like the PlayStation Showcase.
But it wasn't meant to be.
Exactly.
That's the other thing.
Exactly. But I think there was a good amount of stuff shown there. Stuff for me, stuff for everybody, I think. And yeah, it was really good. I think that's pretty good. What was interesting is that there was stuff there for people who like VR, people who like VR indie games, people who like JRPGs, people who are on PC. It literally ticked all the boxes. I was like, this is a good show.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a really well-rounded show. Yeah.
So PlayStation need to do more of this and less of the other dreary nonsense that they sometimes do.
Right.
Fucking nonsense out there. Anyway, bro.
Yes.
This is the True Gamer Podcast. Come into your eyes and ears every Saturday here at youtube.com/Conbrosations. One. And podcast services around the world. You just need to search for the True Gamer Podcast and we'll be there in your eyes and ears wherever you find us. If you're over on YouTube and you like what we're doing here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get occasional videos from us, occasional notifications.
That's right.
These guys made a video 4 weeks ago. Check it out.
YouTube is terrible with that. I don't know why they even give you the option.
If you're not going to do it well, don't do it at all.
Right.
Right?
I mean, maybe we don't take that stance with the whole content creation, but other people, if you're going to do it, do it well.
We'd have to shut down if that was the case.
Yeah. It's not a law, thankfully.
Thank God. We don't take our own advice.
We do as I say, not as I do.
If you follow us, so if you're listening on podcast services, if you're an audio virgin, then you can rate us 5 stars on places like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps us out. Leave a little comment as well. That's really nice to see and things like that. And it helps us boost up in those rankings. If, however, you like what we do and you want to go that step further, if you want to go that extra mile, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations and kick us a couple of bucks a month and help support us to keep the lights and mics on and stuff over there.
That's right.
At the $1 tier, you can get an exclusive podcast called the Conbrosations Podcast. It's our unfiltered podcast where we talk about anything and everything.
It's true.
And you get little exclusive clips like we kind of did today. We're talking about how to remove bras. It's an instructional video.
For once, we turned up on time and then decided not to get started on time. We just start chatting.
We started talking crap. And if you head over to the $5 tier, the True Gamer tier, you get to be read out as a true gamer, as I'm going to do in a minute, and get this podcast the day it's recorded, early before everyone else.
That's right.
For supporting us, all like that. And as I said, you get to become a true gamer. And those true gamers... Oh, I haven't opened up the link yet, so... Those true gamers are...
I'm just going to let you...
Adam the High Quality Potato, Jeremy Horde, Sheps is Crusty Right Nut, Isak Manny, the Bat Fan, Adam the Banana Ghoul Simp, Clark53, Mikey T, Catsper Coral, Sab2557, Joe McCormack, Super Whale Ben, Diogo, Gams True Gamer Master, the Nice Guys, Make the Nice Guys 2, please, for the love of holy fuck Hollywood, Gerald Tucker, Fishy, The Jackal, Alpha Aquelele, Max H, and Make Bindis Mod. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here. You true gamers.
We do really appreciate you.
If, however, you guys don't want to support us, you don't want to give us your hard-earned money, if you can't support us, we completely understand. It's totally cool. You just being here, leaving comments, liking, talking to us, and enjoying the content is all we ask for. That's what we care about.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for being there.
Have you seen The Nice Guys?
No. You talked about it and you said it is actually good.
It is pretty good, yeah.
But I haven't seen it, no.
Worth watching.
Worth watching.
I put, by the way, for you... the Fall that I mentioned, that artsy movie, the
in our chat.
The trailer's in there, so you can check that out in your own time.
Nice.
Really weird.
Okay.
But really, really good. I wonder if anyone's seen it. It seems like a really niche film. I don't know if anyone, even in our community of art lovers, if any of these guys will have seen it, but it's a good movie. Anyway,
our first topic.
Only an hour in.
Is God of War Ragnarok delayed? So here's the thing, right? Last podcast we spoke about how the Korean rating board rated the game, lending more to the idea that it's coming out this year or it's close. Sony Santa Monica Studios have been saying 2022. Developers have come out on Twitter saying 2022. Everyone has said 2022.
Yep.
That's what we think.
Except for one person.
Right there.
Did say.
Now.
So when you say delay, I hear to 2024?
Oh, Jesus, no! Don't say that. Don't say that. So a lot of people have started to report this as of today. I'm reading from VGC right now. And it says, according to Game Reactor, which claims that the game is being slipped to next year, confirmed by various European sources, they say.
Yeah.
And it's in quotation marks, right? Not someone that's come to them directly, but apparently someone that's spoken to someone they know and stuff like that. However, we don't know who these European sources are. They're completely anonymous at the moment. And as much as we hate the guy, Jason Schreier has come out on Reset Era and saying that his sources haven't heard anything of a delay. And David Jaffe, who is the director of the original God of War game, says that friends that he has who are developers working on the game still think it's coming out for 2022, although they may not have known anything.
Right.
But that's the current state of it. I know that every week we just seem to be doing, is God of War coming out? But there's...
I mean...
What do you think? Where's your gut right now? Because we didn't get anything from this state of play. We have Summer Games Fest today, which is a possibility.
Yeah. There's no way.
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't heard anything that's convinced me it's coming this year. I've always thought it's coming in 23. I don't care that freaking Corey's up there going, no, it's coming in 21. No, it's not, Corey. None of us believe you. Oh, okay, this year. Okay, maybe they believe you, but not me. You know? So, and I know you're like really excited for it and you're trying to convince yourself that it's coming. But you remember, was it 2 weeks ago when the Korean rating came out and I said, okay, but it is just a rating. I still don't see it coming this year. So I haven't really changed there. One of the things, the guy said, oh, he knows a developer and they still think it's on track.
Yeah.
Well, depends where you are in the company. If you have a very specific scope, you could know that your task is on track and everybody that you know their task is on track, but it doesn't mean that the game is overall ready. So I can believe that all of this is true and it's still not coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not calling Jason Schreier a filthy, disgusting liar for legal reasons. That was a joke.
Careful, he'll block you on Twitter if you do that.
I know, because he's got real thick skin.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't believe... I never thought the game was coming this year. So the worst thing is I see you every time it's possibly getting delayed just looking like a kicked puppy. Yeah, like, as if... like. But the worst thing is, there was no reason for you to be that innocent. Like, you should have known. Like, if
oh God, what can I say? I mean,
yeah.
This is a tough one because I think my opinion still hasn't changed, because if it had been pointing to a Twitter user or a leaker that has previously leaked something, he says it's not coming, I'd be like,
yeah,
it might happen, guys. It might happen. But it's various anonymous inside European sources, and it
feels like it's distancing itself. Like, okay, anonymous source. Where are they from? I can't release the source, but they're from Europe.
Right.
Like,
the problem is that we're trusting journalistic integrity, which exactly. There is no such thing in 2022. These guys could be just saying, "Oh, anonymous source did it," and then they get all the clicks, and then when they're wrong, oh, it turns out they're wrong. People will come back even to say that I'm wrong, and then we get another click on the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it's so hard to say. Again, if they had pointed to somebody who on Twitter said this or on Reset Era said that, then I would be maybe a little bit more inclined. But it's just our sources.
Yeah.
All right, guys?
The snitch has confirmed a leaked email between Corey and
at least
Shuhei.
If the snitch, he'd be like, because the day before he proved he knew what was coming in the state. If he said it, I'd be like, I think this is happening, guys. I'm going to prepare myself for the worst. I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm preparing myself. But it's just literally going, brother, heard.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like... I mean, we should just start getting leaks ourselves and reporting on that news. It would be...
Right. What would be the difference between us saying, actually, guys, God of War Ragnarok's coming out, and actually it's going to be day and date on the PlayStation Plus service?
We have an anonymous source I can't name the studio, but he's based in Europe. Excuse me, they are based in Europe. I can't give you any information about them. Based in Europe, they have told me internal emails have revealed to them that. Like, we could just report this stuff. It's the same as these journalists.
Exactly. And there's as much law or as much morals binding us as they are binding them. You can just completely make it up. So, that's the reason why I just don't believe it. Had they given a source, had they given something, then maybe I would have done it. This isn't... I don't know.
So
and because it's something insignificant like a release date, then there's no loss of anything in this. So nothing to lose.
No one's going to remember. No one's going to hold them to that.
Right.
Like
if they had called out a massive thing like I don't know, the president of the United States is a kiddie fiddler or something like that, then there's going to be repercussions if you're fucking wrong on that. But there's no repercussions for this guy.
No one's going to remember that. Oh, you know, or hold them to it. Like, well, you released that an unnamed source told you that the announcement for the release date was going to be 2 weeks delayed. No one's going to remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. There's no like. Yeah. I like that you picked a very extreme example. You went all the way to the top.
I went quite far with that one.
Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself.
Hashtag yes. Anyway, so that came out. I wanted to mention that because like guys in our community have sent that to me because I'm so up God of War's ass at the moment that I'm like, I'm ready for it to pop any second. They want to shoot me down. That's what they want. I'm not going down though. You guys can't get me. I did put up a summoning circle this morning though that God of War Ragnarok release date to be announced at the Summer Games Fest. So.
I expect one of these days to walk in your kitchen. It's just like pulled up the floorboards. There's just a plate of like granite or something on the floor with like salt runes on it, you know, and burning candles and stuff, you know.
I'll learn the Nordic like hymns and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what's happening right there. So God of War Ragnarok.
Where do you land on Ragnarok? Is it coming this year?
I think it's coming. Okay. I think it's coming. I'm not gonna let my
facts and information. Yeah.
No, I get it. I do think that, as I said, I think they have said it so many times. They've changed so many things on like their Twitter header. The developers come out and said it. Internal sources are saying that's what they're feeling. They've been told anyway. I feel like too much is pointing to that, and too much confidence has been put in that. And because we have seen gameplay, I feel like it is further along.
Yeah.
Had we not seen gameplay, maybe I would have cast more doubt on it. I would have been more in the Starfield area where I was saying...
Yeah. Does Starfield exist?
Right, come on.
Because...
We haven't seen anything, right? Anyway. That's the end of that. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Cool. All right. Our next topic. I'm going to go right into the Xbox one.
Yeah, boy, let's do it.
Xbox are apparently coming out with a brand new console that's dedicated streaming only, will apparently only be an inch thick, and is currently code-named Keystone. So the whole idea with this new console is supposed to be streaming only, supposed to be a bit like Google Stadia, where you can get the Google Chromecast, plug it into your TV, and you can access all the games that are available on xCloud. You can play all like the games on Game Pass that are available on xCloud, and you don't even need to buy the console. It will be extremely cheap and a very easy way to get into it. I think this is a good idea. However...
Interesting, okay.
Not for Xbox in their current situation.
Okay.
This is actually... I think this is a cool device. And I think it could be really cool. And I got sold on the same way that Stadia fucking got me as well.
Cool. I'm with... I know what you're saying. I'm with you,
So this is a cool idea. Being able to not have to pay for a console... Play games over streaming, maybe ones that aren't so latency dependent, like shooters and stuff like that. Because I'm playing God of War on streaming on PlayStation now. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know so much latency, and it's not a Twitch shooter, so I'm fine with that. I think it's very good and a cheap way to get into all that massive library of games, and Game Pass does have a lot of games on it, so that's really cool. It's just that Xbox has a problem right now where they're not able to sell as much as they want, and they're not producing games as fast as they should be, as much as their competitors are. So they're in a really odd spot, and I don't understand why they think bringing out another console is gonna somehow help them in this situation.
It is weird. It's sort of like putting the cart in front of the horse. They're like, we're gonna bring out another thing that there's nothing to play on.
Right, that's the issue. That's the part that I have a problem with. I think it's a great console.
This is the thing. Take Xbox out of it.
Yeah.
If we just hear there's a console coming that is like this, you're like, okay, that's an interesting device. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Why is it coming from Xbox? Because this is always my thing, and it's not to beat up on Xbox, but they're trying a bunch of these things, which I like. I like that Microsoft tries this stuff. But they have a track record of every single one of them failing. Like Mixer failed. Weirdly enough, I caught like a 15 minutes of a Ninja stream a couple of days ago. I was just clicking through Twitch, and he happened to be talking about Mixer.
Oh, really?
And someone was saying, he was talking about like, it was weird. He was talking about his food. He was saying like, he literally said, look, and this is how he got on top. It's like, even if I wasn't like a multi-millionaire, I'd still spend the same amount of money on food because it's really important to me. And then he started talking about his money, and he was like, I really believed in Mixer. I thought it was a really good platform, and we had a bunch of great changes that we were looking to make, and they just moved way too slow, and it died. They just never made them. We had all of these things. I was in all of these meetings because, of course, he was the face of Mixer.
Yeah. Damn, that's really a shit to hear, actually.
Yeah.
Because
also, it was really nice to him
squandered.
because it's dead. Like, he doesn't have to say nice things about it, but he's like, I did it because I really liked what they had to say, and I believed in the team, and they were telling me all this stuff, and we had these great changes, and they just never did it. We just never got around to it. But
that's got me bummed out, man.
Yeah,
bummed
and
out.
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I like that Xbox are trying these things, but if you're going to... First of all, why are they trying to... And I understand, because believe me, I'm the guy that said I think they're making a 50-year play for the gaming space, which is why they're still funding Game Pass, right? That's my belief. So I get why they would do something like Mixer, right? To try and get a hold of the streaming space. I understand, but people's way into Xbox is not their services. It's the fact that they make the Xbox and games, or used to. And that's still part of their brand. And it's the big draw to their brand, and they aren't making any games. Maybe we should focus on making some banger games, and then from the company that you can trust with your money to make these incredible things, this service, this console. But I don't understand it.
This is the thing. This isn't to be like console warrior and whatnot, anything like that. But there is. PlayStation's making another device as well. They're making PlayStation VR. PlayStation VR is much more niche and much harder.
Yeah.
Harder to emerge from, harder and stuff like that. This is targeted for more casual audience and supposed to be more accessible to even more people. And it's going to be such a low price, I imagine. It's probably going to be something like...
We would think, but...
I think it's going to be like under $100.
There's no way.
I have to... This is my thought.
I think you're going to choose between this and a Series S. Call it 300, somewhere in there.
Nah.
250 to 300 is my guess.
I will eat my own Leviathan axe if it comes out anywhere near.
That's a lot of splinters.
If it starts with a 2, I'll eat it. If it starts with a 2, I'll eat it on camera. Anyway, this is supposed to be for a casual audience. Supposed to be accessible by many people. Supposed to be the easiest entry point into Xbox. And the reason why it's probably not going to work is because they don't have that brand draw in to bring people into gaming. Now, PlayStation, they do have that. So much so that they can sell this extremely niche product and still sell millions of units of them. I'm pretty sure it's going to do well. I don't know, but that's my thought. That's my prediction.
A couple million seems reasonable to me.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they sold, I think it was 5 million of the PSVR 1. Yeah. It's just going to be even bigger and better. And if they make it, which I think they should do, make it accessible to PC... Off the shelves.
That's a good idea.
Off the shelves. There is another part to this, and this is completely outside of Xbox. Google Stadia didn't work.
No, it did not.
Why the hell do Xbox think this is going to work?
It's
just because it's Xbox?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Well, it's also
there's no reason for that. But the reason why I didn't like the other one, 2 reasons why I didn't like it was because you pay for a subscription, then you have to buy your games.
No thanks, yeah.
And then also it was internet dependent, and people didn't rely on the internet. So what has changed? That it hasn't gone up dramatically overnight. We haven't suddenly got the best internet in the world. Why would this be any better? I don't get it.
It's you said it before. You said Xbox is bringing out this product, and it's targeted to get the biggest, to make it the most accessible for the largest audience. And Sony's bringing out its product, and it's targeted to a niche audience. I think it's very telling of the company's policy, what product they're bringing out. And Microsoft wants to get as many people in as possible and doesn't care what it gives you in return. It's like a restaurant with shit food. They just want as many people coming in as possible, and they don't care if you like the meal.
That's why it's always player count is always the thing that's mentioned, isn't it?
Whereas Sony says, okay, well, all these people are coming to our restaurant. What foods do we think that they might like? okay, this is a bit niche, but I think a lot of people do like it. Well, let's give something to these guys.
Yeah.
We'll open a sushi bar or something,
Very
right?
good analogy. I like that.
Where they're looking to give you a product and give you something to use the product with, right? So they're bringing out exclusive games, they're giving you a PSVR and bringing out PSVR games. And Xbox is just worried about getting people in and on, and it's not working. They made Mixer incredibly easy to get on. No one cared. And that's slightly different. But Xbox, it's easy to get an Xbox, and it's impossible to not get a Game Pass. They'd probably have 5 of them somehow. Like they're just probably giving them to any email address they can find that's active. They're like, yeah, give that guy a Game Pass.
This guy has a Hotmail account. Let's do it.
Right. So like a Series S is eminently findable. You could walk out with you could go and find, if you had the money, 10 Series S's today. I guarantee it. Right. And you could get Game Pass. It's easy to get an Xbox and to get on there. Nothing to play though. And that's the difference. And that again is not a console war thing, but I'm not going to buy stuff with nothing to play on it. I'm not going to buy another version of an Xbox because there's still no reason to get an Xbox.
This is the thing. This is the reason why I think it's targeted towards the casual consumer, because the casual consumer isn't as dialed in as we are, where we can see like we're getting consistent quality products from PlayStation, and so in the past like generation up to now, it's been really lacking on the Xbox side. Whereas the casual consumer is going to get completely swept up by the fancy advert and the trailer that shows many things whooshing by with colors,
right?
And then that's what they're hoping for. They get them sucked in. But the problem is that it's very disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because let's say they buy your Keystone product. Let's say they buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, you sold if I say it's $100, let's say for argument's
sake.
Yeah,
that's fine.
$100, you sold that. Cool, no problem. And then you get their first month trial of like $15. Maybe you get the second month of it. And then they wake up that they don't use it anymore, and they go, you know what, I don't use this subscription service, or let me cancel it. You're still in nothing. You can't. Your whole play can't be for 2 months.
Right.
That's not the if you're playing like you said, a play for the market, you can't base everything off of 2 months.
Right.
You started off in the wrong position. If you had focused and put all of your efforts into making games and do that, then in 3 years' time, or 4 years' time, 5 years' time, you can bring out a product like this.
Yeah.
And then you have the substance to back it up.
It's really strange because my argument, and I do genuinely believe that they're making a 30 to 50 year play for the gaming space, is that, well, they're thinking long term. But the problem is, maybe they're just focused only on 2060, and so they're not worried about giving stuff to people now, and that's why it's not working.
Perhaps
they've obviously forgotten that to get to 2060 and own this much space, you have to have people really believe in your brand and love you, and you've got to give those people something. People have to eat,
Yeah.
And they have forgotten that, and they're just trying to get into every space, and it's like there's no point being in every space if you fail in every space, or you keep losing, and like the thing is, Xbox could turn it around very quickly.
Yeah.
In the next 5 years, we could be back to head. All they need to do is say, okay, we still want to make this play for 30 years' time, but in order to do that, we have to compete in the current day, and we have the money to outbid Sony and other stuff, and we've made all these massive acquisitions. And now we actually need to make stuff. And if they do that, and fingers crossed, Fable and Starfield are good, and then they just keep on that because they now have the recipe because Sony did all the work for you, that would be a good timeline. I don't believe them. And this is more proof. I think this is more proof that Xbox doesn't care about making you games, giving you good stuff to play. It looks that way to me.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry for the people that liked Xbox and that's why they're on it. And I have nothing but disgust for Xbox because you're idiots.
Yeah, those guys, especially when it's okay being frank, it's okay being realistic, it's okay being optimistic.
Yeah.
Just you have to be realistic as well as optimistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we really do want it to be better. That's why we're being critical like this. We want it to be better. That's the main takeaway from this.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to. Anyway, our next topic, if you don't mind moving on, you okay with that? Let us know in the comment section what you feel about the new product from Microsoft coming. If it's something that you're interested in, that'd be interesting. Our next topic. Kojima's next project is reportedly called Overdose, is going to be a horror game and features the actress from Death Stranding that played Mama.
Yeah, I saw I know her face, but I can't.
Her name is Marg. Oh, what's going on here?
Margit. Margit's playing the main lead.
Where the fuck? I had the name just here and it's fucking gone. Oh my god, that's so weird. It was right here. Let me quickly have a look in my... Where is it? Here we go. Margaret Quayle. I can't say the name.
Okay.
But anyway, she's going to be playing it. The game is apparently playable in third person and first person, but there's not much details beyond that.
Right.
A horror game from Kojima. Overdose is the title. We don't think it's something Silent Hill related, but
Agreed,
it's a horror.
yeah.
Anyway, that's what's happening there. I saw one place report that maybe it's possible that this is the Xbox exclusive game they've got a partnership with. However, there was no connection with it. They just said, apparently there's a game that Kojima's working on that's Xbox exclusive. This could be it. And I was like, but how do you...
Right, yeah.
Because you know there is one. All right, maybe it is. We don't know.
Okay, there is a game, and Kojima's working on a game.
Right.
This could be that game.
I want to know how many projects... it could be, because how many projects is Kojima working on?
Probably 5 at a time.
Right. Apparently he's working on a Death Stranding sequel.
Yeah.
That's according to Norman Reedus, but he's an actor. He's not really like in the whole scene. We don't know. And then there's this game and also an Xbox exclusive game?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I am interested in this game purely because I do like Kojima's horror.
Yeah.
The PT was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also this actress was cool. I really liked her in Death Stranding. She was very believable, very well done. I loved it. So I'm all down for this. How are you feeling about a Kojima horror game?
First of all, horror,
like you and horror go together, like mayonnaise in the bin, like I said last week.
Right.
It's just
That's right. Like the buttered side of toast on the floor.
Yes.
We're just meant to be together.
Meant to be.
So like obviously that's got me not really interested. I'm hit and miss with Kojima. Like I like that he makes stuff for people that like what he makes.
Yeah.
But I don't like what he makes. Do you see what I mean? Like it's a weird one. I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't come across rude, because I'm not trying to be rude, but he doesn't make games that I'm interested in really. And Death Stranding for me was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, where I'm like, I'd always thought, oh yeah, I like sort of like what Kojima makes, and then Death Stranding hated it. It's good, I guess, but not for me.
It's a weird way to say that you've got poor taste. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, you do say you like anime, so there's that.
Exactly.
Well, so.
I don't think people are too shocked by that. You know?
People are like, typical ships, typical ships.
So, in that sense, I could not care less.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he's making stuff, and I'm glad that people that are excited about Kojima's projects are getting Kojima's projects.
Yeah, I'll be in on it, and if it is the Xbox exclusive one, I'll happily pay for that to play for that game as well.
Yeah.
That's something I would definitely
on your Xbox. Oh wait, no.
It'll be on PC for sure.
Yeah.
I'll play it the way PC games were intended to be played, on a DualSense controller.
That's
the way
right.
God intended.
That's right. The way it was meant to be.
Our next topic. In a shocking move, apparently, according to insiders, on the 9th of June, which is today actually, Microsoft will announce that Xbox game demos will be coming to Xbox Game Pass.
But
really making all the people that said that demos on PlayStation Plus being locked behind a paywall
demos
is
are
anti-consumer.
Bad. They're anti-consumer.
Gonna make them look like idiots.
Did they need help?
Yeah, they didn't really need help.
I feel like
they were doing it with themselves.
And this isn't just because we're always on the other side of this, or often on the other side of this, but I feel like these dudes are mostly... They have a big farm of L's and no dubs to tend, This is the thing. The people who listen to us, predominantly very level-headed people. Yeah.
I haven't noticed anyone who's terrible and whatnot. They are not... They also see these guys that are like...
Right.
Just completely delusional and really just like they're specimens. You're like, I need to study you because you're so weird. You're so
like,
dumb.
are you in a cult? It feels like you're in a cult.
It really feels like a cult sometimes. And these guys are... It's going to be so funny to see the kind of backpedaling that's done.
The thing is, as well, and we always do say this, is there are those people on all sides.
Yeah.
It's just that currently, because of the field that we're playing on, which is all Sony dubs mostly, and mostly Xbox Ls, that we're seeing most of those Xbox. They're revealing themselves to be indoctrinated weirdo, like basically indoctrinated, almost religious extremists in a weird way. Do you know what I mean?
That's what it feels like. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of parallels you could draw between that and any kind of like religious cult. It's so weird,
right? And those people exist on the Sony side. Yeah. Like, this is not to say that Sony guys, because
it's not just an Xbox.
And they'll have a go. Like, I've been in those little threads where I sort of got bored and wanted to get some attention. You know the way you do.
Yeah.
And then someone will say, yeah, and like agree with me and do this, and I'll be like, actually, no, we can't. Like, I'm all for trolling, but that's not, you know. And then they'll beef. We were agreeing. They go to here, and I'm like, no, we need to stay here. And then they attack. I get attacked. I'm like, You're still wrong. Like, you're still an idiot. I don't care that you're on the correct console and you like good games. You're an idiot. You know?
The only thing that's weird about this one, and this is
more than any other.
So this is the bad part. So remember when the demos came out, when the trial, sorry, they're called game trials. The way it works is that you download the game and you get to play the beginning, however many hours is dictated by the trial of the game, requires no extra development from the developer because it's just the game, and the timer turns off whenever you get to it. And PlayStation were going to be handling the timer side of things and how that all works and whatnot. So no extra work for the developers.
Correct. But it is functionally a demo. They're not called demos, but they're demos.
Exactly. Demo just sort of implies that it was like a tailor-made part of the game for for the express purpose of you trying it out. No spoilers and stuff like that. But this is just the game. The only part that's different about this is that apparently developers can choose to enroll in the project or not, get the necessary data they need for the development, and then they will make the demo themselves. So the developers make them. And Xbox will apparently compensate them for that.
Why?
The thing
Doesn't
is,
that feel like the weirdest way to do this?
it's so dumb, and also it doesn't solve the problem. Compensating them monetarily is one thing, but you're taking time away from development.
Yeah, the whole point is that the Sony way to do it is really simple. Yeah. Let's just make a very basic thing. The Sony thing is, if you access the game via the trial, it starts a clock. When the time runs out, you finish access to the game.
Yeah.
If you could beat the game in 2 hours, you could play the whole game.
Yeah.
You're locked behind a time wall. That's it. You have the game. You only get to play for 2 hours. Yeah. This is very bizarre. And again, it's the Xbox thing. They're just throwing money at a problem that they made a problem to throw money at. Why would you do that?
It's so dumb. And also, it's the stupid rich person mentality where it's, I'll throw money at it and it'll solve the problem. That's not... the money side of it is great. You're compensating them for the money lost in this whole thing.
Right.
But what about all the extra time and resources you now have to put to the side to now get to there? Well, also, some people can maybe hire a new person, but that's another undertaking in itself as well. It just seems...
It's also... I actually don't agree with you. You know, it's like you said, it's great they're compensating them for this, but you're asking them to take on an extra workload that you're compensating them for, a workload that doesn't need to exist, because all they need to do is copy the Sony thing, which is just Microsoft L's.
One of two things is going to happen in this situation. Because it's extra work, it's not going to be done. So there are going to be very, very few demos that you can get out there. Or two, you're going to get the most subpar demos ever made, because some people are going to see it as an extra influx of cash. They're going to go to think, they'll be like, we project it's going to cost an extra $2 million to do this. Okay, give us the check, just do a basic thing, we don't give a fuck, just do it, so we can get the cash. So that's the only two things that you're going to get.
One question though, why bother? Let's say I'm an Xbot. Why am I going to bother playing a demo? Because everything's on Game Pass.
That's another point as well.
Why do I need... This is a service I don't need, because everything is functionally a demo. I get access to everything for the price that I'm not paying.
Granted, there are probably going to be some games on there that aren't... Well, the idea, anyway, is supposed to be that even for the games that aren't on Game Pass, you'll get a demo for. But again,
that makes sense to me.
It's
but
up to the developer.
90% of stuff and all the big stuff is on Game Pass because they're purchasing
That's the big draw of Game Pass, that everything you could want to play is on there.
More products that aren't needed, that don't understand
It's odd.
landscape.
Tell us if we're missing something here. Don't get me wrong. I like the idea of demos.
We love demos. Demos are a great idea.
This is great. But
this feels like
we didn't want demos that would take more time away from the developers,
right.
force them to do more stuff. Also,
for games that I'm probably going to get access to anyway for the price I'm already paying.
Right. I'm confused.
It feels, I am actually genuinely right now confused. We are probably missing something.
Maybe.
I'm assuming someone like Alpha's going to have a better understanding of this because he's on it. Let us know what we're missing, because as of right now, it looks like a service that doesn't need to exist because Game Pass actually exists, and then that feature is being done in the worst way possible, which is to add extra workload to the developers, and then Microsoft will just throw money at it. But it's a thing that didn't need to exist because demos could easily be locked behind a time, like a timed event.
Yeah.
And then you don't need the demo anyway because you have Game Pass. So I'm quite confused. I gotta be honest.
Confused. Yeah. It's very.
I mean, maybe it's just that they need to get rid of money. Do you know what it is?
Trying to just throw it
I
away.
am starting to believe that Xbox is just like a money laundering thing.
I was saying the money laundering.
Like Microsoft's just printing money with those servers, those Azure servers, so they just need to. They're like, you need to spend money on what? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We can make a service that we don't need. Make devs do work for it and then compensate them for the work. Perfect.
Yeah.
Here's 100 million. Get rid of it.
Dumb. Just
it's weird, right? It's odd. It's very odd.
Do you mind if I kick over to our next topic?
Yeah, buddy.
Our next topic, E3 is coming back next year.
Yay.
They made the big announcement, and nobody gave a fuck, that E3 is coming back next year, 2023, digitally and in person. Everyone go get excited.
It's unless the in-person absolutely bangs. This needs to, if you're running E3, you need to be hitting up all the big streamers, all the big YouTubers. Come to this thing. We're throwing the most insane after parties. It's got to be vlog material for the next month.
Yeah.
And then E3 will be back. But they don't understand that. It won't happen. It will just be a lackluster con.
That's the play they need to make, because the thing is, they don't have the power that they once had over the publishers to get the games in. Unfortunately, all these publishers now have their own events because you decided to let the ball go and not prepare yourself for a situation like this. And there's no reason for them to bring their best to your event.
Yeah.
So now they won't.
There's also no reason now for the little guy to really scrimp and save to get into E3, because a few of these guys have realized that if you understand social media stuff and how to get a message out there and viral marketing and all this shit, you just don't need it. You can spend all that money in ads and do way better.
They're asking for tens of thousands of dollars from these people.
Yeah, for the little out the way stall that hardly anyone even goes to.
Right. Way easier to put that money into something much better and get much more traction. Hell, it'd be even better to go to even one of the bigger publishers like PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo and go and do something there. Much better time there. Anyway, that's happening right there. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about. What was my final thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, final thing. Details on the Horizon TV show. According to good old Jeff Grubb, the Horizon TV show is going to be called Horizon 2047. It will take place parallel to the games, and it's taking place at the height of humanity right before its fall.
We said that's where you do it, yeah.
That was the play you said. It was that'd be the better one to do because it leaves the games alone and it shows a little bit of information beforehand. I think this is a really cool
idea. It's the Kenobi thing.
Yes.
With Leia, all that writing and how it makes A New Hope look so much better and makes it make sense. That's what you do, yeah.
What's going to happen is the show's going to come out and you'll be like, oh my god, I love Zero Dawn now.
Or I'm going to say, oh my god, no one even played Zero Dawn. They set the bar so low, Zero Dawn, and they still missed it.
My stance hasn't changed on TV shows yet. I have yet to see something that will change my mind. However, this does seem like they've gone in the right direction.
It's the correct play.
Yes. However, execution is everything.
Right, exactly. Just because you make all the right decisions starting forward. Look, the Titanic was a really well-made ship.
Unsinkable.
I will say, the worst thing is Why do you do that with your glasses? Do
I
you do it
don't
on
know.
purpose?
Now that you said it, I'm like, what?
I think let's put it this way: The Last of Us is the one that's stacked to be easiest to get right.
Yeah.
There's tons of source material, tons of it.
Yeah.
This isn't derogatory, but it's a very basic story. You're going to tell one of two stories, which is it's father and son, but in this case, a daughter, and or boy and his dog. Right? You're going to tell one of those two stories. If we separate with Ellie, she'll need something to go and save. You've got umpteen different things to refer to. So like The Walking Dead is basically The Last of Us, so we know that it can be done as a show.
Yeah.
It's not going to be ridiculously high budget. So if The Last of Us doesn't get it right, none of these will. The Last of Us is the easiest one to do.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to ruin it.
Yeah.
So it's a case of that's going to be my... when you say start as you mean to continue, I think The Last of Us is going to be a good metric for that. If that one flops, they're all going to be shit. And probably without exception.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I think that's the easiest one to get right.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest one to get right. Because it's more about a human story.
Right. All you have to do
We've done that many times before.
Right. And also, there's so many versions of that, like, guy that doesn't want to be in this position of fatherhood, growing towards to love the kid. Just even in the games, like, take The Last of Us and God of War. So, if they can't get that right, what are they going to get right? They made some weird decisions with these, though. Like, I don't see very many people going to see a Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will, but
the essence of it is it's a Japanese samurai movie.
Right, but
they're not the biggest sellers.
Not anymore. They were cool in the 70s.
It's going to be cool for gamers. I think gamers are going to be interested in it.
Right.
But, I mean, we are... the whole point of making a movie is that it reaches even more people.
Right. I don't know that... It's weird because everybody likes a Viking or Knights type movie. But a samurai movie just sort of feels slightly different. So unless they're going to do something and make... Well, the thing is, even for me who loves Ghost of Tsushima, the only really standout point of the game really is the duels. So are they going to make the sword fights the purpose of the movie, which is great if they do, but how... Yeah. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. I want all of these projects to succeed, but I guess we'll find out.
Nervously says.
The other thing is, like, we
nervously.
said that The Last of Us is the easiest one to get right? Like, all they need to do is put some ivy on a house and it's halfway to being there, right? Yeah. Break a window, done. But, like, the difficult thing is making Ellie and Joel have a relationship. That's really what we got to do.
Connection, that's the one.
Right. So, I mean...
Yep. That's all of our topics for today.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for writing in. We've got a bunch of comments from people over on our Discord server, like you guys can do by clicking the link in the description.
That's right.
It's the best Discord in the world. You should go check it out. I want to start with Hookie's comment. Loden, he writes it right here. He says, may not be relevant to the rest of the podcast, but I want to say I've been saving my thoughts for this now. He says, Spider-Man on PC has got me full horn, not gonna lie. He's a PC gamer, filthy PC gamer, that's why he's speaking such filthily. But what is sort of worrying me is that there's so many PlayStation exclusives coming to PC, which, don't get me wrong, is fantastic, but is making me wonder what is left on PlayStation. I've been set on buying a PS5 for God of War Ragnarok for a while now, but I'm a little worried about what else I can do on it once I've completed God of War Ragnarok. I know about The Last of Us, Uncharted, Spider-Man on my list as well, but now I can play that on PC, so it doesn't leave much in the sense of buying a PS5. Is it worth buying all these PlayStation exclusive when I get a PlayStation 5, or just wait when they are on PC? This is a good question, because... Yeah. I get you're in one of those. You're exactly one of those people that we're talking about. Is there a point in buying a PlayStation, or should you still stick to PC? If you're the kind of person who just wants to play a good game and wants to be in the conversation, like I can't stand not being in the conversation when a new game comes out, then I say it's worth buying a console. If you're okay waiting 4 years, 3 years, however long it's going to be for the PlayStation to come out, I think they're all coming to PC. So you can wait. You can wait.
That's the thing. But that's the question. Can you wait?
That's it.
Because now that you've played probably... What was the list? Hold on, let me find that comment.
He said the games he wants to play is Spider-Man, God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us, and Uncharted.
Okay.
Uncharted is coming to
Uncharted's
PC.
coming. Spider-Man PS4's out already.
Exactly, that's where it's coming. And Last of Us, we suspect, is going to be the remake. So your whole list is going to be there soon.
So the question is...
Should he buy a PS5?
Because this is the thing. Ragnarok's not coming this or next year.
That is pretty certain for me
right?
as well. I think it's going to be 3 years at least.
So that's the thing is I do think the question is you're in a lucky spot, which is a bunch of the greatest games are coming soon.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you don't need to get a PS5. But there are two things. There are going to be new games. So have we got any idea when Forbidden West is going to PC? That's probably going to be...
The Nvidia leak said it was coming this year.
I don't believe it, though.
It seems early, right?
It seems really early.
That's less than a year.
I could maybe believe next year, and even that would be soon.
Yeah,
but Ragnarok won't be. So let's say
we're in a. This is the problem. Yeah. PlayStation have just started their PC initiative. Yeah. They've just started putting everything on there. They're going all in on it. We don't know exactly. It's hard to gauge how soon it's going to be for everything. So everything we're saying is best guesses right here.
Yes.
Yeah,
so it really comes down to can you wait?
Yeah.
Ragnarok is at least 2 years away from PC, let's say.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm in the camp that thinks that their proprietary SSD is the thing that makes the difference. I'm in the camp that in 2 or 3 years' time there'll be games made only for the PS5, specifically for the PS5, with weird mechanics that we haven't seen that can probably be done on PC with workarounds, but I'm still blown away by the Ratchet and Clank portals because they're actually portals. It's not some weird
trickery.
Yeah. So I think you should experience that. That would be my thing.
Yeah.
But then again, they're like gold dust. They're not exactly easy to find.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not like every single game is this thing or whatever.
Right.
And the consoles are hard to find as well.
I tell you something. Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to get a PS5.
I tell you something. This is the problem because it's so early, and now they're obviously getting all their legacy titles onto PC, so they can make all this extra money, so they can because that's what they're looking for. We'll only know when the games from now on come out. So how soon Horizon Forbidden West comes out? How soon God of War Ragnarok comes out? Because then you can make your decision based on the length of time for those ones.
Right.
If they come out 4 years and then you go, okay, 4 years is probably what it's going to be. Can I wait 4 years for Spider-Man 2?
For me, no.
Can I wait 4 years for Wolverine? Can I wait 2 years for 4 years for Ragnarok? Can I do all of that? That's the question you need to ask. No way.
Yeah.
But you, no way. But everybody is different.
It's weird as well. If you'd have asked this question in 2019, where we were looking for the consoles to be coming out soon, we'd probably be saying you need to be getting a PS5.
Definitely.
But right now, mid-22, right now is the best time to be on PC because everything's coming to you now, and there's nothing super impressive that you're waiting on. I think... Is Ghost of Tsushima on PC yet? No.
Not yet.
I mean, that's a pretty good one.
I think that's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I do think it will be going, for sure.
They put a projection. They were 2020, fiscal year 2023, I think it was something like that. They were we project to be making $300 million from PC sales. And I think this last year was something like 80 million or something like that. So what's gonna be so much more?
They'll need to ramp up a lot.
Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, it's gonna be these big titles.
Yeah.
I think you need to. The only way I could give you an accurate yes or no, you should buy a PS5, is if I was to see when the next game comes out.
Yeah.
Then the sequel now for God of War, the sequel for Horizon Zero Dawn. If they were 2 years, I'd be like,
I'll say right now.
Can you wait 2 years?
Right.
If it's 1
2
year,
years is
that's
2 years is closer. But even for me, I've got to.
I would be as well. Yeah.
The other thing
1
is
year,
that
getting closer.
we've had our PS5s now for 2 years.
Yes.
Not a mistake.
Yeah.
Definitely happy that I've got it. Been impressed with the hardware and all that stuff. Just been a little slow on games that I want to play. There's been like 6 extra games if you include all the roguelike games, but they're just so for me I've got 6 deleted.
Yeah.
So if you find one, I don't think you'll kick yourself for buying it. Let's say that.
Yeah. Throwing my glasses on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be making a mistake getting a PS5.
It's so odd. I like this situation because it shows there's so much options now for people. Because previously it would have been like, it's PlayStation or nothing, guys.
Right.
It's PlayStation or nothing. You can play. There's other great games out there. Fine.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you can play those on PlayStation as well, but you can't play these games anywhere else.
Right.
But now you have these options to play them somewhere else. Granted, you have to sacrifice being in the conversation and getting it when everyone else gets it.
You have to wait. You have to make sure your PC is up to date. That's one of the great things about a console. If you've never had one or really been into it, like anything I get for my PS5, I know it's going to run.
Yeah. No headache, no nothing
right.
like that. It's good that you have the choice, bro. That's all I've got to say right there.
I will say, if you'd said, I'm thinking about picking up a PS5 or a Series X, I could not tell you in good conscience to get the X. Not because I hate Xbox or any of that stuff, but because, as of right now, there's nothing you can play that I can. I can't really see anything worth playing. I can't really see anything worth playing on an Xbox Series X that you couldn't play on your PC.
That's the thing I was going to say. If you have a PC, you're just choosing to lose $500. Right. You're just choosing to lose $500.
So if it was that
you can play everything on PC. So
exactly.
I don't know what the reason would be for that.
And even more important than that, which maybe you just want to play on a console, which I understand, right? Yeah. You don't have to. Like
console
we said,
master race?
You don't want to have to and you don't want to have to worry about constantly updating your rig and stuff. Is that what has there been to play in the last 7 years? Nothing. And their biggest things have all been flops. And maybe that will change with Starfield, but then you can play that on PC, probably. I don't know what the specs would be for PC, but so I just, if it was between the consoles, I couldn't honestly tell anyone to get an Xbox this generation or last generation, which is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but they put themselves in that box. They put themselves because they were on the edge. They were not. They were looking like they were going to die out. They made these sacrifices.
I think most of
our
guys that are on Xbox as well would probably be in a similar spot of if you're going to get one or the other.
I think so. I think they would be honest enough to say, this is the situation. I'm sure they're happy with their Xbox.
Yeah, and this is the thing is I don't want anybody to feel that if they got an Xbox that I'm rubbing salt in the wound. I'm just saying I wouldn't encourage anyone to go out and get one. You've got one now, great. At least you've got access to a bunch of great games and a good piece of kit. But I do think the PS5's a better piece of kit and there are better games on it. That's just where we're at.
All right. Hope we answered your question right there. Hope that was. Thanks for writing that in. That was a good thinker.
That was a good question.
I like that. Thank you very much, Hookie. You're a legend. He does also say at the bottom as well. That's all I had on my mind. Thanks for all the content, bros. Love from Loden. Play Knights of the Old Republic and Metal Gear Solid 2. He said.
I'm not playing Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't want to watch an hour and 45-minute cutscene. Get fricked. Which apparently isn't even good. Apparently it's not even good. It's not like a movie. It's just there.
Oh god, that's hilarious to me. Kojima's got some nuts to do that. Do you want to pick a comment?
I'll read. There's a couple here. I'll read Diogo's and Sean's. My dog stepped on a bee. State of Play was good. I wish for more like that. I'm excited for most games that were shown besides SF6, Eternites, and Roller Dome. The Callisto Protocol looks really good and scary. I can't wait to play RE8 in VR for no particular reason, Ainsley.
I don't know what you mean either.
Yeah. And Diogo said in a similar vein, State of Play was actually good for once in a long time. Great list of games shown off, but the ones I'll be playing for certain will be Stray and Callisto. I'll keep watching RE4 Remake, but I haven't really liked the past 2 RE games, RE3R and RE8. Final Fantasy 16 didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for you. I thought you were one of those
Final Fantasy 16 trailer didn't do it for you. What?
Right. PSVR 2 actually looks sick, so I can't wait to see people try out the Horizon game, especially for that combat. I think that would be a really good move, what you suggested, selling the PSVR 2 to PC guys, because it would come in at a more affordable price than like an Oculus or something, even now, presumably with lower specs required for a lot of it.
This is the thing.
And that's also a great audience. I wouldn't have any problem opening up to day of release for like VR, because it's so niche.
Yeah.
Just get more of it out there. And if someone's getting Horizon VR and they're like, they know full well the only way to play the full game is to hop unless they're going to wait another year.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a great idea.
I've been listening to some podcasts talking about like the technical specs of PSVR. And there's some specs in it that are even better than the Valve Index, which is the best VR, or the most technically advanced VR on the market right now. And that's $1,000, that one over there. So it's like higher resolution per eye. The foveated rendering means that there's less processing power required because it's only processing really what you're looking on and stuff like that. And they go that what would be required to run a Valve Index, like a 3070 graphics card on a PS5? It would be like the previous generation 2070 is only required. So if you do have a more powerful thing, this is the thing, because of all that foveated rendering and how it requires you only to render really what you're looking at rather than everything. It's saving so much processing overhead.
So that's very different to how I thought it worked, because I thought the thing with the foveated rendering was that in it doing that required a significant amount of processing power to do the rendering, because you have to decide what's getting rendered.
Right.
But apparently that's not true.
Yeah.
And that I didn't think a 2070 could run that, because that's
what he said. Theoretically, the PlayStation's power could be around about that. To run this thing over here, because it requires a lot less processing power. And if you,
I will say PS5 is not an apples to apples comparison, because especially of their SSD and the way it runs.
Custom stuff. You can't compare it. But if it was to be open up to PC, I can imagine some really cool stuff being done, because you can get so much more powerful stuff out there versus on PS5. So
right.
I think that'd be really cool.
That would be very cool.
Yeah. Let's read BS Bro. He changed his name to BS Bro. I
saw that.
I like it. BS Bro 1. Gotham Knights has a showcase on Thursday today. So I'll definitely check that out. You're like the one guy who's still excited for Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
The TV show is awful.
Listen, bro. Here's the thing, Mr. Quilele. We're DC shills as well. But the stuff has to be good. Like, it's got to be better than Midville.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Like, this
I thought you were going to say the Batman, and I'll be like, okay, that is mid.
Wow. Like, we're DC shows. We love DC. But just because you slap DC on a thing, especially, by the way, I don't know how you've got over the fact that they frickin' blue-balled us with the whole Court of Owls thing. I'm not over that. I'm going to hold a frickin' grudge. Frick these guys. Court of Owls would have been height.
Don't worry, we'll put the Court of Owls in there somewhere. Yeah, but that's not what you're focusing on. You're focusing on this other dreary nonsense.
I want it to be good, though. I would love for it to actually come out, and it turns out we were wrong, and it's another, like, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I suspect it's going to be more like Marvel's Avengers.
Yes.
I'd like to be wrong, though. I'd like to be wrong. Also, when are we hearing more about the Suicide Squad project? Because that's
next year now, so I don't think we'll hear that for a while. Unfortunately. Did you hear, by the way, did you see what the Gotham Knights game Twitter account did when the Gotham Knights TV show premiered?
Yes, I did. That's got me worried.
That's some bullshit as well, because they waited for the show to pop out, and they're like, by the way, we're totally not involved with this TV show that is bombing right now, okay, guys?
All right.
And I was like, that is really rich coming from you, because your first showing was just as terrible.
Yeah, you showed a game, I'm not going to lie.
You can't throw stones from your glass house, bitch.
The combat from the PS2 Spider-Man game looks better.
Get fucked.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You can't.
You can't. In fairness, the graphics do look better. The combat doesn't look better.
Exactly.
So,
He continues to say, "State of Play was not great." Here we go.
Interesting.
It's an Xbox show. That's what he's
freaking. It's just, by the way, I'm really drunk while I write this.
He says, "Good franchises, but nothing I'm personally interested in." But Eddie just consistently proves that he is he is in reality a weeb. I like Final Fantasy 16. No reason to get a PS5 from that showcase. No reason at all. It's just anything there is on PC and Xbox. You just don't need to care about it. Though I did like the look of the bike game. Oh, that's the story letter to so and so. Okay. Callisto was deeply terrifying, to be honest, and I got really scared. Yeah, so that's a no-go for me.
I don't want to play that. I'm gonna have to, but I don't want to.
Says, but horror isn't for me, with the exception of Alan Wake. Can we even call them PC peasants anymore? It's true can we call them PC peasants anymore when we're gifting them the best games ever made?
Yeah. Yeah, look, just because you give someone a homeless bum on the street money or some of your McDonald's or something, right? Just because they're eating food doesn't make them not homeless and starving.
They're still scum.
Right.
Exactly.
So, frick them.
Exactly.
Dickhead. Was that them?
Tailgate
says, last week's State of Play review. I didn't watch it live because at the time I was finishing my binge watch of the Western Godzilla Monsterverse movies with Godzilla vs. Kong. Really fun movies. I mean, fair enough. I actually genuinely thought he was going to start talking about Warzone because, they're in that.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous.
I thought that was a joke.
Do you remember when we were playing Call of Duty and it would be 6 guys on one side, 6 guys on the other, and you would shoot each other?
You remember back in those days.
Crazy, right? I'm going to be honest. The only 2 games that got showed off that I actually cared about were Callisto Protocol and Final Fantasy 16. I'm really looking forward to those 2 games. I'm not looking forward to playing Callisto Protocol. I'm actually going to implement a rule that I will only play it during daylight. And I will stop. Like, if I'm playing, I'll stop before 8 o'clock.
Turn the brightness all the way up as well.
Yeah, like...
No shadows.
It'll be like, adjust this so you can only barely see it. Yeah, okay.
Oh, bullshit.
I'm not falling for you think I didn't play Dead Space 1 and 2. Okay.
Okay.
This is my first rodeo.
And one final thing that posted here. Diogo posted a topic. This is a huge topic.
This is the Blue Box thing.
Blue Box dev, and how it is confirmed that it's just all a scam right now. The Hassan Kahraman, while he is a real person, apparently he's farming out work to fans in the community to do.
Yep.
Claiming that he'll pay them. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And then him just going off, and Diogo says it here. Have you 2 read this? The guy is actually insane, trying to get his fans to do the work for him whilst he goes and plays Rainbow Six Siege. And it shows like on his profile he's playing video games and stuff like that.
It's one of those things where, like, in a weird way I kind of understand it. Because we've seen this before. I forget which game now off the top of my head. But there was a game that came out, it was an absolute flop, and the modders were fixing it. Oh, Cyberpunk had this recently as well.
Yes.
Like the monorail system, there's modders out there that made it work in the game. So you think there are these incredibly talented, passionate people out there. It would be cool to have them, like, contribute. But not if you're just pimping them out, Anyway, this dude can get fricked. Because this game... Well, the other thing is, like, how much work can you do on this project if you can actually do this level of work before you realize that this isn't what you thought it was?
Yeah, right.
The second you see what you're being asked to do, what you're making, you're going to realize this wasn't the project, I'm
thinking that must be how this got out, because apparently it's like an exclusive chat room for like the fans and stuff like that, and it's even more exclusive for the people that he's asking to do work for him. I'm guessing the people that he thinks he's indoctrinated into the cult
of Karaman.
Exactly. And clearly this one guy was like, oh, so there's really nothing here.
This would make a great horror movie. The guy starts out with this con, and then he cons these guys into a cult, and then it turns out it's like sort of a Temple of Doom sort of shit,
Yeah.
Karaman, God day.
I'm not sure why. This game is insane.
So is he.
He is fucking clinically insane.
The worst thing, this is the thing that frustrates me, is the guy is obviously, in a weird way, kind of a genius.
It seems, because you have to have some sort of like
at marketing at least, right? Like he's getting something. Like he could actually attach himself to a real project and really get something done. It won't be this. This is going to suck. But like the abandoned thing, right? This screenshot is actually brilliant. Super simple. It feels Silent Hilly, you know, it's like, it's great for that. I have no idea what's going on with this guy. I really wish the conspiracy theory had been real.
It would have been great. It would have been great. And at one point I believed it. I think what really happened is that... I wanted to believe it.
Yeah, I think what really happened is he put out some shit stuff and the internet accidentally found things that connected and then formulated the story and ran with it. And he just went, well, that's way better than what I had planned, and went with it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sad times.
Anyway, guys, that is the end of the True Gamer podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Do you know, I wanted to mention this at the beginning, well, close to the beginning.
Like the video.
It's not as important as that, thank God. But do you know, just to put, because everyone been recommending it, I pre-ordered The Quarry.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the trailer and it interested me. And I saw the guys over at Supermassive Games in their trailer that they put out. Mm-hmm. I think this will be a very good game for us to play as a co-op game. Because I think it's that cheesy teen horror sort of thing like that. And I think there's a lot of jokes to be had in it, a lot of good fun, and it's a new current game. So, and it comes out tomorrow.
We need to block out some time for the Stanley Parable as well. That could be an interesting one.
Yes, I want to play that as well because those trophies just seem so hilarious.
Right.
And if I'm a trophy hunter, I need to have those trophies.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in for another episode of True Gamer Podcast. Next week, we'll talk all about the Xbox Showcase and Summer Game Fest. It'll be a big old episode. And yeah, we'll catch you guys all in the next one.
Yep. We'll see you then.
See you later,
Thanks
bro.
for hanging. Oh, God. Don't look at it. Cool guys, don't look at explosions. That's right.
Walk away.
Walk away.